Today I have Dave Palumbo, who I've known for some time. He was a bodybuilder and he has his own show, RX Muscle, and beyond and beyond and beyond, which we're going to talk about. But Dave and I, we get along really well, and I really respect this man. He knows a lot about bodybuilding. Actually, he knows a lot about a lot of things, and I really respect his knowledge on everything in life because, Dave, you come across with a lot of stuff, and you're very, very smart, and I look up to you, and I like your opinions on a lot of things. You know, you went into the thing about Rich Piana, and you've been in some other stuff, and it's all factual stuff. I mean, I get it. I understand what's going on there. I don't want to really get into Rich Piana much because it's kind of old news now. And the reason that I don't is because his wife lives here near me, and Chanel was over here, and people like that, and they're having their own turmoil in the background. You know what I mean? Have you seen that stuff?
Yeah, you know, Rick, you know, my whole take on life, has, especially the last, 10 years or so, has been to just, I'm an observer of life. Yeah. And I also believe that life is full of absurdities, and that's what makes it kind of fun. And I like to find the absurdities, so that's the comical aspect of what I do. Because I always think that my dad always taught me, in every situation, you could always find the humor, even in tragedy. And that's how he's gotten through a lot of his life.
Like George Carlin, right?
Yeah. I mean, so you got to find the absurdity. So I always look at the absurdity, but I also look at the reality of what's going on. And I think a lot of people sometimes are afraid to point out the things that are unjust that are being done. And I'm not talking about the guys that don't place well the contest and they want to blame the organization for for them not doing well. I'm talking about certain things within the organization, certain things within life in general are just not right. And I like to call them out. And some people, I guess a lot of people relate to what I'm saying in that sense and they can get behind it. Some people like to just, be ball busters and go against the things I say. And, and I'm not right about everything. I'm just giving you my observations on the world. Everyone's observations are different. That's what makes the world so unique.
I totally understand that. I have, my girlfriend turned me on, she's big on anti-aging and supplements, and her doctor gave her some brain pills. They're called brain pills, but they're basically work on your brain and make you process faster. Are you aware of those? Have you heard of them?
Yeah, wasn't it in that movie?
Yeah, that Limitless. Yeah, well, it's not to that degree, but maybe it is to that degree. I started taking them about 8 months ago, and I noticed, and I'm not making this up, I can process a lot faster. When I'm thinking, I think quicker.
Really? What are they called, Rick? Because I'm losing my mind.
I've lost my mind.
I think I'm going senile, so maybe I need them too.
I get them from old school labs, and I've been on them for quite a while. She gets them from her doctor, but she says she processes faster. When we're trying to work out a problem or thinking of whatever, it just comes to me quicker, and I'm much quicker on response to people when they talk to me. Almost just like you are with a comedic flair. You have to defend yourself sometimes, and so you come back with them, and it just works. But the problem with this thing that I've seen, I'm looking too deep into things. We went to a Thanksgiving dinner, and there was a lady sitting on the table. I didn't know her. She had sandals on, and her little toe was crossed over her other toe. It was probably made like that. And I kept telling my girl, I can't take my eyes off that toe. I want to go uncross it. She says, forget about it. I said, I can't. I zeroed in on that toe, and it was driving me insane.
Right.
So,
you sure you're not used to doing crystal meth?
You know that I've never done drugs in my life? Seriously?
That's what I'm saying. You might be on some serious stimulants, and all of a sudden you're experiencing what a lot of the world likes. We're living in a world full of stimulant junkies. I mean, look at every energy drink is. Energy drinks probably sell more than water does now, and people love that stuff. And I don't do any stimulants, Rick. I don't know if you're aware of that. Since I stopped competing, the only time I ever did stimulants when I competed was coffee to get me through the diet. But I don't do stimulants, and people say, how do you have so much energy? And I say, you know why? It's because I don't do stimulants. Because stimulants give you energy while you're taking them, or it's at least the idea of energy. And then when you stop them, you crash. So my thing, the way I got through medical school, I never drank a cup of coffee, never took a single stimulant, was when I would get tired, I would take a nap. And if I took a 20-minute nap, it would that was my speed pill that I would take, and I would be super productive after that.
I've been doing that every day for the past 2 weeks, 20 minutes. I had a sinus thing, so I laid down 20 minutes was long enough. Anything over 20, I got tired.
It helps. I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing. I used to do it when I used to compete too. 20-minute nap after I would train. I would have a post-workout shake or a meal, and I would take a nap for 20, 30 minutes. And I'm telling you, I felt like I recovered, 10 times better.
Well, something about that lately for me is I've gained weight from it. I've been training a little harder. I take supplements, but I went from 217 to 225 in the past 10 days. And I don't know what to attribute it to unless it's water weight, but I don't really think it is. I think it's the more rest that I'm getting.
Sure, you're recovering better.
Yeah, and I'm recovering better. That's what it is. But the thing you're saying about looking on the funny side of stuff, because everything has a funny part to it.
Sure.
Tell me if you've ever, I'm sure you have, when people look at you and they don't know you, they think you spend all day in the gym, right?
Maybe not anymore, but they used to. When I was big, everyone said, they thought, oh, you must work out all day long. And I'm like, actually, I eat all day long, but I don't really work out all day long,
My girlfriend says I'm too much on the defense over that. We went to dinner one night with a friend of hers who's a banker in his 60s, and I'm 73 now. And he looks at me and he says, well, so you run a gym? I said, I don't run a gym. Why do you say that? He says, just by the way you look. I said, no. I said, do you work out? He says, yes. I said, are you run a gym? He says, no, I'm a banker. I said, well, there you go. I said, and here's my analogy. I said, I go to the gym 45 minutes a day, maybe an hour tops. There's 23 hours and 15 minutes left, and 7 of those I sleep. And the other time, I've got my show, I write articles, I'm doing editing, I'm getting sponsors, I'm negotiating deals. And that consumes all my time. Plus, when I'm sleeping, I'm even thinking about the next day's work. So the workout is a small part of it. Then I began to understand. You want to say something?
No, I wanted to say, I think, that's a big misnomer. I think people think the more you work out, the bigger you are and the better you look. And that's, you and I know that, and anyone who's been in the bodybuilding industry knows that that's just not the case. Bodybuilding is the lifestyle. It's not just the gym part. The gym is like a very small portion of what you do, of what we do.
And bodybuilding lifestyle, let's go back to the 50s and 60s before it came what it was. The lifestyle for the guys in Santa Monica was laying on the beach and getting sun and eating healthy and doing things on chin-up bars and rings and all that along with weightlifting. And that was their lifestyle. Then it became what it is today, which it's gone through a lot of changes every decade. And then today, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what I see on stage. I'm not sure what these guys are taking or how they train. Yeah. It's a different world, as you know.
Yeah, people always said to me, luckily I had the ability at some point in my bodybuilding career that I didn't have to work a real job, in the sense I could train people and I was doing appearances and I had sponsorships. So, and people would say to me, if you're telling me you only work out an hour and a half a day, what the hell are you doing the rest of the day? Mm-hmm. I said, I'm preparing to work out mentally. People don't understand that, even if you go to the gym and do an hour squat workout, an hour leg workout, the idea of what you're going to do in the gym, the squatting aspect of it is so mentally traumatizing.
Yes.
And that you would think about it and be preoccupied with it all day. You couldn't, if you had to work a real job, it's like all you'd be doing is, I got to do legs later. Oh my God, what am I going to, it was very traumatizing. And I'm not saying, and it sounds like we're a bunch of sissies when you say that, but if you're training the way you need to be a top level bodybuilder, it really is. You're preparing the whole day for this workout that you're going to go to do.
Well, this is true. I told people I've never worked a day in my life because everything I did for passion. I enjoyed it, and it's true. I mean, yes, wrestling was hard. Bodybuilding is hard. What I do is hard. But at the end of the day, it's so enjoyable it doesn't seem like work. I went to work for a bank once for a year as a teller. Oh, I hated it. So I bought myself a motorcycle so I could be liberated when I went to and from. And then I worked for Kellogg's Cereal for a year, servicing supermarkets, talking to the managers about workout routines. So when it came to do what I'm doing now, I'm like you, I said, when you're working your passion, it doesn't seem like work at all. It's something that you love to do. This show that you have, I put your banners on all my shows. I give you good plugs. I don't know if you know that or not.
I appreciate that. A lot of people tell me, and you give me a good plug now. You're wearing my RX Muscle T-shirt, the new design.
I worn it 2 days in a row. I wore it to the gym twice and around town.
I got to get you a whole bunch of them so you can wear them every day.
This color combination is amazing.
Good for your eyes too, Rick. You got the crazy blue eyes, going on.
And blonde hair. But this is a great shirt. I love the V-neck, and people ask, and I tell them what it is, and of course they all know you anyway. I'm happy to promote you. You do a good thing for bodybuilding. You do a good thing for the world as far as I'm concerned. You're very well spoken, and the things you say make a lot of sense to me. So I follow you. I love you. I think you're awesome. So I will do whatever I can to promote your show. How do you think, what are your feelings about bodybuilding from the 70s to now, how it's changed? What's your take on that? The guy's so overly built and bloated, and the peel of the '70s physique. I hear a lot of stuff about that.
The physiques I like the best, and I hate to sound like an old guy, but I like the physiques in the '90s the best. I thought that they got it right. I think the '70s and '80s were beautiful physiques.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they had achieved the level of completeness that they did in the '90s. I mean, I always thought it was maybe the genetics of the athletes in the '90s. I don't necessarily think it was that, although there was a terrific talent pool. The Flex Wheels and the Kevin Lavronis and the Paul Dillettes and Dorians and Ronnies and stuff like that. But I just thought that was a gold. To me, that was the golden era of physiques. Mm-hmm. They pushed the limits a little bit, but they weren't like ridiculous. And I think it was because. And like I said, I think the guys genetically today, the talent pool is there. I don't know if the training, I don't know, how do I put this? I don't know if the training desire is there. I think people go to the gym now to fuel their social media pages more so than they go there to actually get a good workout in.
There's no
back in the '90s, there was no cell phones, there was no internet really to speak of. So you went to the gym, you trained. There was no distractions.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make a phone call on your cell phone, you had one of these like flip Motorola's. It was like $100 a minute. You made a 30-second call and you were done. So I just think there's too many distractions in the gym now, and I don't think it's the guys are lazy. They don't know what to do. They're so distracted by the phone and do I have enough pictures from today to put on Facebook and Instagram because I'm going to lose followers, and then my supplement company is going to drop me. So I don't know. I just think the guys don't train as hard today, and I think that because of that, they try to compensate with taking more drugs.
I was trying to get to a machine. I was on a bicep machine today, and he's sitting there talking on his phone the whole time, doing a set, and then sitting there talking. Finally, I said to you, "Are you going to work out or talk?" "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "This is a place to work out. You want to take your phone? Go outside." Because it is distracting, and it's upsetting me. Even back in the '70s down in Venice when we trained, we all got along. We all kidded back and forth and trained and spotted each other and had a good time. There were no cell phones, like you said. Right. Our workouts were good. We were really into it. Today, I don't know. I'm in the gym last week, and I see 3 girls, and all 3 had butt implants. If you can imagine that. And they're all doing side kicks and this, and then taking videos of their butts as they're training and putting them on Instagram. Like, this is really important. I mean, come on.
Well, here's my question to you, Rick. What would Joe Gold, may he rest in peace, have said with the modern era of bodybuilders with the phones and the selfies in the mirror? I mean, he didn't let music in the gym. Would he have taken people's cell phones away from them?
He's probably already turned over his grave 10 times. He would definitely tell them, get out of the gym. No phones. He was very blunt about that. You're going to talk on the phone, get out of the gym. You're going to drop. He'll throw you out for dropping weights. If you drop it too hard, you're back. Here's your money back. That's just how he was. No music. Of course, we didn't have water bottles. We had a water fountain, but no portable radios, none of that stuff. And we had better workouts. I mean, I like the music. I don't mind it. But the camaraderie and the communication between people was a lot better without it. We focused more. We were friends, and that was what it was all about. And the bodies, I think you're right about the '90s, though. I think that was the final cap on the physiques. But then again, the drug thing, and people always ask me about, you don't take drugs, you don't want that steroids. I'm not for, I'm not against. Doesn't matter to me either way. Yeah. I take testosterone. I'm 73. I need it. My doctor says you need to take it. So I take it. There's no harm done. If it puts you over the edge and you get a little bit better body, so what? You know what I mean?
I'm not against, I'm certainly not against the drugs, and I think but I do think there's a responsible way to use them, and I think that today guys think that, the guys in the '90s were great, but they didn't know how to take. They didn't take enough, and I'm like thinking, well, how much better do you want to look than those guys?
Exactly.
I don't see anyone today who looks better than those guys. So why would you take more than those guys took? I mean, obviously, but and then the excuse is, well, the stuff today isn't as good. You got to take 3 times as much. I'm like, I don't believe that. I just don't think guys train as hard today. And I'm not saying that's not going for everyone, because I see some guys that do bust their ass in the gym, and those are the guys that get the best results, and you see making the improvements year after year.
That's true. That's very true. People think that more is better, but actually less is more. And it's the same thing with pain pills. I know people have little minor surgeries, and they're taking all this Norco and all this stuff, like tons of a day. I had a knee replacement in January. I had a staph infection for 10 days. They had me an IV at home morning and night for an hour, and in between I went out and I went to the gym and I did my stuff with a leg brace on. But the staph infection was nasty. I never took a pain pill. I took Tylenol. And although they wrote me a script for all those things, I didn't want to get started. When they said it's going to constipate me, I said, oh no. I'm not going that route. I got to use the bathroom. So I don't think that was necessary, but some people live on that stuff, and then more is necessary and more and more and more. And with the drugs today of the anabolics, I always felt that less worked better for me. If I do 200 milligrams of test a week, that's fine. If I do 400, there's no difference.
Yeah, and I agree with you. You know, I had a shoulder replacement. I don't know if you're aware of that, total shoulder in July 10th. And I took the pain meds for 4 days. And once again, I hate the whole constipation thing too. And I just don't feel good on them. Yeah. And I said to the doctor at the 5-day checkup, I said, can I stop taking these? He goes, well, you don't have to. He goes, I'll write you the script. I said, I don't think I need them.
Yeah.
He said, well, if you don't need them, then don't take them. And I stopped taking them. That was it. I really didn't have any pain. And I felt 1,000 times better. I just feel terrible on them. But you know what happens? If you take them long enough, you forget how bad you feel on them, and it starts to feel normal for you. And then when you're looking, then you start chasing that high a little bit, and then you run into problems. I've seen a lot of people get hooked on pain meds, unfortunately.
They do.
And Paul DeMeo, he never took a pain med in his life. He hurt his calf right before the '94 Nationals that he won, and he got addicted to Percocets, which then, of course, led to his heroin addiction because he couldn't afford the Percocets anymore. And look what happened to him. He died of a heroin overdose. So I mean, they're not like taking M&Ms, you know. They're not like taking Tylenols. You got to be very careful because you can become addicted really easy. And bodybuilders have addictive personalities to begin with.
That's right. The knee replacement, I took the Tylenol for, I think I took what you did too, Percocet for 2 days.
Yeah.
Just at night when I slept, and it was only good for 4 hours. I said, this doesn't even work.
Sure.
The best thing that worked for me was ice packs. And then after about 4 or 5 days, it hurt a little bit. It wasn't terrible. And then it never hurt again. And to this day now, my knee is like I'm 16 years old. I can squat, go upstairs. It doesn't any pain at all. I don't limp anymore. I gain an inch in height. My girlfriend says, Matt, she's been with you 5 years. Every time I knew you in the past, you were always limping and you were shorter. Now you're tall and you're walking straight. I said, I guess I should have done it a long time ago.
I know. Yeah, my doctor told me, he goes, you should have gotten your shoulder replaced 15 years ago. I said, I know, believe me. I tried to put it off because I was too young, and I thought it would be better. But you know what? It's the best thing. I can't wait to get the other one done next year.
Was it easy for you?
It was easy. The only problem is, obviously, I become useless around the house, and I had an 18-month-old baby, and now we're having another one in December. We have in 2-3 weeks we're going to have a little girl, so I got to wait at least 6 months till she's 6 months old before I get it done again because it handicaps what I can do.
With the knee, it wasn't so bad. It's just the leg I can walk, but with shoulders, and my shoulders are really bad. I mean, really bad. I don't want to do them because I know, first of all, I won't be able to comb my hair, which we need. But just lifting stuff and reaching out, you know how that hurts. So I developed carpal tunnel in this hand. I only got these fingers anyway. Yeah. So I had surgery on that, and I actually watched them do it, and they cut this thing and put it back. I went to lunch and trained the next day. But I still have the numbness, and numbness in these fingers is very difficult to even use a fork. So it's really kind of, and when I type my computer and I send out an email, I can't type question marks because I'm missing this finger. So everything comes out a statement.
But Rick, I'm telling you, get your shoulder done. You'll get it done. You'll say to yourself, I can't believe I waited this long. It was the greatest thing I ever did. I mean, I don't want to jinx myself because who knows what the future holds. But I'm telling you right now, I am not in pain. I have no pain in my shoulder. My left shoulder, 3 months or 4 months after the surgery, is way stronger than the other one. And I'm mad at myself that I waited this long to do it, but I found the right guy. The guy who did it for me was this guy in Tampa. I wound up having to get what's called a reverse shoulder. It's not your typical humerus, cup. It's reversed because I had so much bone loss because I put off the shoulder replacement so long. They had to do the reverse. He invented the reverse shoulder, and this guy's done 5,000 surgeries on shoulder replacements, and he was a former bodybuilder. He's still bodybuilder, and he had a shoulder replacement himself. So he kind of was able. Him and I related. He was a complete nut job, and I'm a complete nut job, and we completely clicked. And I knew that was the guy to do it as soon as I went to see him, even though I had to drive 2 hours to get the surgery done to Tampa from where I'm living in Cape Coral. It was amazing, and you know what? I literally am looking forward to getting the right one done, even though it's a little bit of an inconvenience for 6 weeks. You got to wear the stupid sling.
Yeah.
The benefits afterwards are so much better. I don't have to worry about. I couldn't even get out of bed. I would have to do a leg curl to get myself out of bed. That's how bad my shoulders are.
I understand that. Well, it says it's a reverse. Do you do everything backwards now?
Yes, I do. Yeah, but I did everything backwards before, so I think it righted me now.
Now you're right side out. Now you're doing the right thing. You're still training?
Yeah, you know what? I went back to the gym. After I couldn't lift for three months, which was tough. But you know what? I said I'd rather have a shoulder that works. So I went back after 3 months, and I got on the hammer strength incline press.
Yeah.
And The right arm, I thought I tore something because it was moving and nothing. I didn't feel anything. I said, "Uh-oh, something's going on here." And I was in a lot of pain in my right arm, which is the arm that didn't get done. And then I realized, oh, I'm not in pain because I have no joint pain anymore. And it's amazing. Like I said, I have the left arm, the one I got done, is so much better in all the movements. I don't feel pain, and I felt pain for so long in everything I did. The doctor's like, "How the hell were you working out with this thing?" I just was in pain. Everything I did, I refused to not do anything because I knew if I stopped doing anything, I would get worse. So
well, that's right. My knee was so bad it was off center, and I was walking bow-legged, looking like a bow-legged cowboy. But it was painful, and I get up from a chair, and I want to go to the bathroom in a restaurant. I said, I don't even want to get up. I don't want to get up and walk.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know it's time to get it done, because when your quality of life has been affected, you got to do it. I always said I'm not doing my shoulders until I can't sleep at night. And you know what? This past year, it got to the point where I would roll on my shoulder, and I would wake me up, the pain. And so I said, you know what? Now is the time to do it.
Did you do anti-inflammatories like Celebrex or anything like that?
Nope, never took a single one. Never took a single pain med.
The Medrol pack of the cortisone.
Didn't do it. Wouldn't do it. I said when I get to that point that I need pain meds, I said I'm getting the shoulder replaced, and that's exactly what I did.
Hear that? So you're training now again?
Yeah, I'm training again. You know, not crazy yet, but I'm doing it and just to maintain everything. I'm doing what I was doing before, except it's effortless now, at least on the left side. And I'm going to wait and continue lifting in this fashion until I get the other one done, and then I'll be able to lift heavier. The fear is that I might get too comfortable with how strong I am, so I don't want to wear the joint down where it won't last as long. So I'm gonna, if I could lift moderate and get a good workout in and feel good and be in no pain, then that's enough. I don't need to set any records. I don't need to be huge anymore.
With you right there. I work out now medium to light. I don't believe in real light with a lot of reps because it doesn't do a thing for me.
No, it doesn't do anything for me.
No, I have to do a medium weight with 8-9 reps.
Me too.
And maintain what I have. Like I said, I was 220. People guess me at 185, 190. I get on the scale, it says 225, and they said, "Where do you have it?" I said, "I have no idea, but it's there."
How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet, but I'm maybe 5'11" now. I'm getting shorter as I get older.
But yeah, me too. I've lost about an inch.
But there, it's the density, and then your stomach changes a little bit as you get older. You get that little roundness, and there's abs underneath. They're thick, heavy abs, which I've always had, which I never liked. But that little pocket under your belly button, where it's like. When your girlfriend says, "Oh, let's split a carrot cake or a brownie," and I don't want to, and I'll just eat half. Well, that half adds up, and you can't tell a woman that.
No. How's your blood sugars?
I've just had a complete physical with my cardiologist. Everything's normal. Everything is normal.
Even you test your blood sugars during the day? I started doing that.
I haven't. No. Why should I?
You should go to Walmart. $9. That you get a blood sugar testing monitor. They're really cheap. And test it first thing in the morning, fasting, and then do it 2 hours after you eat meals. And your fasting should be under 90, and your 2 hour post eating should be under 130. I found that mine were running a little high, not very high, not high enough that they would come up on like blood work, because my hemoglobin A1Cs, which is your 3-month average blood sugars, were normal, but they were high normal. So someone had recommended this for anti-aging purposes. So I've been testing it, and I'm running a little high after like big meals that I'm eating. Sometimes in the morning I was running a little high. So I started taking, as an anti-aging thing, some long-acting insulin, not short-acting, long-acting, like Lantus or Detamir. I take a little in the morning, I take a little at night before bed, and my blood sugars are perfect now. Now, the theory is, and I know you're a big anti-aging guy, is that if even little small amounts of blood sugar that's a little high, over years and years and years, it accumulates, and they're thinking that a lot of the dementia that they're seeing in older patients is because this sugar, this excessive sugar, is accumulating in the vessels of the brain. And when you get to your 70s or 80s, now you're experiencing memory loss and dementia and stuff like that. So they're finding that long-acting insulin can aid your beta cells of your pancreas, give them a rest a little bit, and keep those sugars a little tighter. And they're finding that people say that they theorize that we'll see less dementia with that. So that's the new thinking on anti-aging. First it was testosterone, now we're talking about insulin management.
Now, when you run a little high, how do you adjust that?
Well, I was running high before I took the insulin. Now that I take 10 units of Detamir, which is like Lantus. It's like a basal insulin. It's a 12-hour insulin. I take 10 units before bed. I take 5 units in the morning, and I'm running perfect blood sugars.
That's injectable?
Yes. It's just like it's a subcutaneous shot under the skin.
You have to be careful with it?
No, because it's long acting. It's not like your fast acting insulins where if you take too much you pass out and you have problems.
Yeah.
It's a long acting. I take it before I go to bed. I don't even eat anything. It's just what it takes care of is, when you eat food, you're obviously produce insulin, right? I mean, but when you're sleeping overnight, your liver is producing glucose via gluconeogenesis. And that glucose that elevates in your bloodstream has to be brought down by insulin release. And for some reason, as we get a little older, our pancreas gets a little sluggish and it might not release enough insulin. So, it lowers some of that sugar, but you might wake up in the morning at 95. I see guys waking up at 100. I have a lot of guys testing now, and I'm finding that 50% of the people that are testing are running high in the morning. And that's not good. That's not good. That's going to lead to problems. It can lead to kidney issues. It could lead to vision problems. Not in a year or two or 3 or 4, but in 20 years it could. And so I'm thinking, look, if I'm going to live a long time, I don't want to be one of these guys that's, a basket case when I get to 70 or 80,
Yeah. Is this a prescription item?
Yes, it is a prescription item.
Okay, so I'm going to go through a doctor.
You'd have to get find a very progressive thinking doctor to go along with that. But I'm sure in Venice, that's where you find them, right?
You find anything there. They did a movie about Joe Weider called Bigger.
I heard.
And it's just finishing up. I had a couple of friends that worked on it. It's supposed to be very good. The people that they hired from here didn't exactly look like the people that they were trying to refer to, like Reg Spark and people like that. I don't know if you know that story. And they got real big on, my one friend played Reg. You want an accent? They said, no, it's not necessary. And I thought, well, if you want to be factual, you should have that.
Well, Arnold had an accent. The guy who played a Palumbo Voger had the accent. Yeah. They supposedly taught. I heard he sounded pretty much like him. I don't know if he's a good actor or not, but I heard he had the good accent.
You know Dan Solomon?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't know him very well, but I contacted Max Martini's on the show, and he said, why don't you call Ricken as one of the consultants on this? He lived through the whole era, and then I never heard from him. And Dan says, well, I got it pretty well covered. Then I found out he was born in 72, so I don't know how much he really knows. So I asked him to come on my show, and he said, sure, I'll do it. And then when I tried to find the date, he just vanished. So I really kind of wanted to talk to him a bit to see how much knowledge he really had, because I'm not sure. I don't know him.
I would have gotten guys like you. I would have gotten all the guys, from that era. I would have got what's his name, Bill Grant. I would have gotten guys like who were around Arnold and Joe around that era. Get them in there, find out what was going on. I mean, you guys know the inside story
real well. And we worked out with Joe on Sundays. He'd take us to lunch. We'd hang out. There's a lot of stories there that they don't know. And I'm sure, no disrespect to Dan, but he wasn't around then.
Well, you know what? I'm going to get you on my TV show, and you're going to tell me the Joe Weider stories. How about that? So this will be like the unknown stories that don't come out in the movie. We'll talk about. No problem.
I will be happy to do that. Well, thank you for being here. I think we went a long time.
Did we?
I'm surprised I lasted that long.
I could talk forever though, so that's my. I don't know if that's a gift or if it's a curse. I can't figure it out.
That's really funny because my girlfriend is a very smart businesswoman. She owns a big company, and we go out in public and. She's come on some shows with me like After Buzz, and I've done some motivational speaking, and she says, Rick, you never have a problem. It just falls out of your ass when you talk. And I said, it really does. I could probably get pretty much on any subject. But it's the same thing when people judge when you work out, and you're with people that aren't in your business, and they're in banking or real estate or investments, and they don't quite understand what you do. And then she's telling them, I said, I can't just give them my resume. I feel bad doing that. They need to go Google me and see my name come up 53,000 times. Then they'll figure it out. But I can talk to them, and I do get them on my team. And at the end of the night, it always works out. It's just a matter of how you approach things. You don't want to be egotistical and that way. You just want to be, here's what I do, and here's how it works.
You know what happens? I find people that have like money and people that are in other walks of life, you would think that they can't relate to bodybuilding, but everyone in the back of their mind is not happy with the way they look. So when they see someone like you or me and they get us isolated in a party or a restaurant or something like that, they start wanting to pick your brain because
they want to know.
They want to know, well, what do you think I could do for this or that? Or I have this fat on my back, or my doctor says I have high blood pressure. No matter where I go, you can ask my wife. I'm always answering questions. I'm like the doctor, I'm always answering questions to these people from the weirdest walks of life, banks and supermarkets, and it doesn't matter where we go. I mean, there's always someone asking questions.
I just tell them they have no hope. That's it. There's no hope. But the other part of that is the wrestling part, because I wrestled from 1965 until 2001. So there's a long history of all the old timers with me, because I broke in with all the old timers like Blassie, who really taught me a thing or two. If I didn't do it right, I got beat pretty hard. So when I bring that up, they say, "Oh my God, I used to watch that all the time." When I tell my girl, I'm almost embarrassed to say it. Don't be embarrassed. That's like the #1 thing on TV right now. They're thrilled to death you brought it up because it's not in their norm. They don't understand that world, and they want to know. That's fake. Is this? Is that? No, it's not like that. You understand what we do in the ring is real stuff. We don't want to hurt each other, but any one of these holes can hurt. Let me put one on you. Oh, no. I said, well, you said I was fake. So, but it does make interesting conversation. And
Triple H told me once, he's like, is it worse knowing you're going to get hit or not knowing you're going to get hit? He goes, you decide. And, it's funny. I always used to see Stone Cold Steve Austin on your podcast. I know you guys are friends. And he reached out to me, about over the summer. He wanted me to do a diet for him, because he didn't realize I did Triple H's diet, and he was all into this ketogenic diet, and he really didn't know that much. He was trying to study it, and so I started working with him. He lost a lot of weight, and I wound up getting on his podcast, and I can't tell you how many more people know who I am after I did his podcast, because there are wrestling fans out there that they're fanatical about him.
Twice on my show, and I've done 2 of his podcasts, and then we became friends because he comes by this way. He came to visit me when I was in the hospital a year and a half ago with pneumonia and congestive heart failure. Where are you at? I said, St. Joe's in Burbank. He says, I'm coming. He came on a Saturday and spent 2 hours.
Wow, he's a good guy. He's a real good guy.
He is a solid, nice guy. There's no bullshit with him. He's just a good-hearted individual. Totally.
Yeah.
But do anything for you. He's that type of guy.
Yeah. So what you see is what you get.
It's nice to be like that. Well, thank you, Dave. We'll stay in touch. We'll do more stuff. If you ever want me to come on and do something, I will. I'm going to keep wearing your shirt around until I have to wash it.
Thank you.
Is it going to shrink on me?
To be honest with you, Rick, I didn't want to tell you, but when you asked me for the shirt, I only had a couple made, so I had the one that I was wearing, so I had already washed it once because I had worn it once. And my wife said, "You're going to give that shirt up?" I'm like, Rick, I have to bow down to Rick. Rick came before me. He's my elder, and I respect what he does. I said he needs the shirt, so I got you the shirt. So the shirt's been pre-shrunk actually before you actually wore it.
I appreciate it. Well, I'll send you a pair of my underwear. Will that help? I'm wearing it right now.
I'll put them on eBay for sale. Maybe I'll make a few bucks for myself.
I'll make $1.25. Thanks, Dave. Let's stay in touch, and thank you for being on Rick's Corner.
Absolutely.
And thank all of you for watching. This has been a lot of fun, and I want to do it again. See you guys next time.
RickDrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.